Perfect. Okay, so for people like me, we're here for the reason why we're here is we want to purchase our first place internationally, and we've been seeing the amazing things that happen in Medellin and all over Colombia, and we know that unfortunately right now in the United States we're not able to get the houses we want because a lot of people like middle income and even some people higher are priced out. So our option would be internationally. What would someone need to know if they want to purchase in Colombia?
All right, there's a lot of stuff to think about. So we're very well known for real estate investment, visas, all this stuff. We're now at this point the largest regional law firm in the entire country of Colombia, which is crazy.
Blue, you ain't nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't get nothing. You get what I give you. I got a contract between me and you that say you do what I tell you to do. Therefore, shut the fuck. Don't say nothing. Don't speak to me. Don't look at me.
Good morning, world. Hi, y'all. What's going on? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. All platforms. You see the kicks from China. The off-whites. The off-whites. We are here at somewhere in Medellin at the Langdon Law Firm. This is the company I chose to go with buying my first international property in Colombia. This is going to be a nice journey. Hopefully you guys stay along with me on this journey the same way y'all stood with me on the journey when I brought my first condo, I brought my condo on the water in Miami Beach. I know we doing different stuff. I wish let me see if you guys can see the back of the jersey. But I know we doing different stuff in the sense of stuff that like a lot of people, not to say are not doing, just didn't even know about. I mean, hold on, take it through there real quick. I want to see you guys see the back of the jersey. You probably can't. I'll show you later. It says my name on it. But yeah. So we're gonna do a little interview so you guys can get acquainted with the law firm. Hopefully, I get somebody there that speaks English because having to translate everything for you guys, it does take a lot. Sometimes I even just pay for the translator to get the words right, especially when it's something as serious as like buying land or buying property in another country because you don't want to miss out on a lot of money. So we're gonna see what it's like. Y'all see me with the soccer jersey on. It's pouring down. Of course, the week I come to Medellin, it's pouring down all week, but that don't stop nothing. So let's get to this law firm, all right? Peace. We have just arrived to Langdon Law Firm, and I want you guys to come inside with me and pause and see what it really is. Let's go. Flip that camera around real quick. Let's see. What's up?
Hi, welcome to London.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver.
How's it going, man?
Doing great.
All right, man. So welcome to Langdon. What do you want to know?
What is it that? Okay, let's start from the beginning. What do you guys do? How long has your company been in business?
Right.
And what sets you apart different from all other lawyers or companies or firms that do what you do here in Medellin, Colombia?
Got it. So some quick background. I'm actually not a Colombian attorney. I'm a New York attorney. I manage just a regular law firm out of New York. We're a 5-partner law firm. And for 14 years, we've had a local subsidiary, Langdon, Colombia, and we manage everything from company registrations, visas, real estate purchases, kind of an all-purpose business law firm. That's basically it.
Okay, so as far as visas and everything, do you have like a certain way that you go about doing it for like people who are coming here for the first time and don't have a clue of how to get a visa or how to do anything with this?
Yeah, I mean, we have an entire, client intake process. People come in, they have different types of knowledge bases. Some people know the process pretty well, some people don't. So we kind of start from scratch. Like, we just don't know if what they know is true or not. There's a lot of misunderstanding about the process in Colombia, so we just assume they know nothing. And that's probably the best way to proceed, for sure.
Perfect. Okay, so for people like me, we're here for the reason why we're here is we want to purchase our first place internationally, and we've been seeing the amazing things that happen in Medellin and all over Colombia, and we know that unfortunately right now in the United States we're not able to get the houses we want because a lot of people like middle income and even some people higher are priced out. So our option would be internationally. What would someone need to know if they want to purchase in Colombia?
All right, there's a lot of stuff to think about. So we're very well known for real estate investment, visas, all this stuff. We're now at this point the largest regional law firm in the entire country of Colombia, which is crazy. And for real estate in particular, I want to give you maybe 3 key things. The first one is, number one, be careful with tax evasion strategies. Colombians are absolutely addicted to tax evasion. So throughout the process, part of our service is to try to figure out ways to manage the seller's expectation, and they're usually focused on trying to figure out how to game the system, how to sell the property as quickly as possible with the least amount of cost as possible. From our perspective, for buyers, we're trying to protect them, and those interests are not always aligned. So be careful with the tax evasion stuff that could come from the seller side. So for example, it's very common for a seller to ask buyers to get the money outside of the country. Hey, buyer, I got an account at Chase. I got an account with Citibank. Send me money there. I'll sell you my property in Colombia. Be careful with that. There are ways to do that legally, but usually not the way that the sellers want you to do. And the second very, very popular thing, very complicated, tricky issue, is the commercial value issue. So you're buying a $10 property, seller will say, hey, I'll take your $10, but let's put $5 in the deed documentation. So if you guys are from Canada, the US, this is pretty common when you're buying used cars. So basically you're putting $10, but they want you to put $5 in the documentation, something lower. So it looks like you paid them less, right? That's usually a no-no. You want to be careful with that. That's the first point. Second point, I want to say, is the need for a brokerage account. So think Schwab, think Ameritrade, or what used to be Ameritrade. Basically, it's the easiest, least risky way to pay a seller in Colombia. You open up a local entity account with one of these companies in Colombia. One very popular one is Alianza Valores. Another one is Acciones y Valores. These are really there to protect foreign investors. They're not super efficient the way you guys and myself are used to, but it's probably the easiest path forward, the least risky way to make an investment in Colombia. Third point, connected to the second point, you can't just come up to a seller in Colombia and say, I'll buy your property tomorrow. That's out the window. I have a lot of clients who are used to investing in properties. They come in and in like 2 seconds they have they have a transaction ready to go. It doesn't work like that in Colombia. For example, the brokerage account process, 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. So ideally, you prep a little bit before you actually make an offer, and that's where we come in because not everyone understands this process.
So ideally, from start to close,
Yeah.
how much time do you think it takes? Estimate. It's the estimate.
Right, understood. So there's probably 3 levels. A client comes to us with a super complicated transaction. It's a property that has a lien on it, maybe it's a mortgage or whatever. You're looking easily at maybe 3 months, possibly 4 months before you close. Okay? Second level is a property that's pretty clean, but we still want to go through the process. We've developed this process, we've developed this process for 14 years now. It's a very specific way to buy property for foreigners. We don't like to avoid the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, title analysis, then the purchase agreement, then making a payment, all this stuff. So even if it's a super clean property, no mortgage, nothing, I usually tell clients 4 weeks to 6 weeks, even though we can probably do it faster, because we don't want to do shortcuts. In Colombia, you don't want that. And then the third level is the client who says, listen, I gotta get this done now. Seller says, unless I get money tomorrow, I'm done. Those can go much, much faster. There are ways to do that that protect the investor. There are ways to ensure that the funds are registered properly. There are ways that the seller understands the process starts and they're gonna get their money, so they come down a little bit. But that third level is doable. I just rather not do that because it's Colombia. It's not New York, right? It's not Miami. It's Colombia.
Okay. Now, in this technology-driven age, a lot of people, they'll go on Google, they'll go on websites, they'll read books, and that never really helps to the fullest because people need to interact and see for themselves. You and your company have a YouTube channel. On your YouTube channel, is there anything that people should watch or review over before they even decide to buy a property in Colombia or even get a visa?
100%. So we are known, and it's my own estimation, but I think most people who come to Colombia to invest eventually hear about us. We're known as the company with the best materials, the most comprehensive understanding and knowledge of each process, everything from business registrations, accounting, payroll, buying property in this case, visas, whatever. So we have fantastic YouTube videos which literally take you step by step by step in the process. And we complement that with incredible articles. Our brochures are second to none. So what I would say is start with the YouTube videos. If you don't mind going back to school. Because it's literally, you sit down and you're taking notes, and it's like step 1, step 2, whatever. And that's useful for a lot of people. I'm a reader, so I like the articles. It's literally all the steps, but in article written form. I like that. Other people love the brochures, but basically, whatever you do, don't do a thing until you review that stuff. We're not the only service providers in the market. We're probably the most prominent, right? But I think our materials, no one's gonna beat our materials. So that's the first step. Second step, as far as internet research, very important point here. Don't ever trust what you see on Google, okay? Don't, okay? Colombia doesn't have a real MLS system. It doesn't. So what tends to happen is you're a foreigner, you're like in Baton Rouge, or maybe you're, I don't know, in Denver, and you're like, I love Colombia, I've got to get this done, I want to buy a property. You start Googling listings, and you'll fall in love with 5 properties. Turns out most of them, if not all of them, are out of date. Colombia doesn't have a really solid MLS system. There's no master kind of listing system, and Colombia is going to be Colombia. So what does that mean? It means that some person at some point posted an ad for a property that was sold 3 months ago. By the time you fall in love with it, 3 months later, it's gone. So my recommendation is, number 1, immediately call the listings. Every listing is going to have a number, but call them. What's up is, listen, Americans, like, we don't use WhatsApp for some reason, but basically the entire world uses WhatsApp. My recommendation is download the app, send a message to any listing you like, and just confirm that it's still there. If it's still there, awesome. If it isn't, that's not going to work for you. Okay, so that's one big step early on. Second step, get yourself a local agent with a big caveat, huge. And we're sort of well known for this in the market because we're very vocal about saying the following. With some really good exceptions, local agents absolutely suck. They blow. There's a lot of problems with local agents, a lot of lack of confidentiality, double dealing. You gotta be able to manage your agent. You can't just, assume it's like a US based, even in the US there's some issues with agents. But you come to Colombia and it's magnified tenfold. You gotta be careful with agents. So for example, don't go to the agent and say, hey agent, the listing says 10, why don't you offer 9? I'm willing to go as high as 15, but let's start with 9, see what happens. That's what I would do if I'm in New York, if I'm in Denver, if I'm in Baton Rouge. That's not going to work in Colombia because your own agent, not only possibly, but very likely is going to talk to the seller. They're going to talk to the seller's agent and say, hey, that guy, he's a foreign doofus. He told me 15, and then suddenly the listed price goes from 10 to 17, right? So be careful with the agent. But getting a local agent is useful because you've never been to Colombia. Maybe you have, you don't have enough knowledge about the market. Don't think you do. It's impossible to do that. You're a foreigner. Like I've been here years. I still don't know much of this. So don't trust yourself too much. Get an agent, but be careful what you tell them. Keep them on a short leash. Use them to find properties, not necessarily to negotiate a ton of the terms, because that's where they can actually kill you. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Good.
Now, the most important thing,
Sure.
and the last thing we're going to ask you,
Sure.
is how can people get in contact with you and your company?
Right. So the easiest thing is just to go to our materials. We have on the YouTube channel. You can leave a comment, send a message to our general email address, which is info@langencall.com. I'm going to say it again because I screwed that up. info@langencall.com. That's LANGONCOL.com. We have a WhatsApp group as well on our website. Go to langencolombia.com. That's probably the best way to reach us. And we are not like any other company in Colombia. We will respond to your messages. We'll respond to that stuff pretty quickly. We respond because in Colombia no one does. So it's one of the reasons we've gotten so popular and so prominent in the market. We just do what you would expect a law firm to do in the States. We're super popular, not because we're the next sliced bread or anything. It's because we do what we're supposed to do. We provide good client service, we charge at or below market, and we barely do a lot of marketing, honestly. We do a good job and we just get recommended everywhere. I'm not sure how you found us, but there's got to be a reason because we just kick ass.
All right, thank you so much for your time. It's
No
great
worries.
to do this, and we're going to start this process. Appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And we are here in Medellin, and we are here with Langdon Law Firm. I told you guys I'm selling my South Beach, Miami waterfront condo because I believe it's time to step up to something that I wanted to do from the start. I wanted to buy a property in Colombia. And going through that route, I wanted to contact somebody who I can communicate with, whether it's a language barrier, who had a long-term time of being in the industry. And I was lucky enough to run into Langdon Law Firm. So I just want to say I appreciate it. I'm ready to start this journey and maybe have them say a couple things about, under a minute so they can see.
Sure. No, just happy we can help. Again, we've been here for 14 years. We are now the largest regional law firm of Colombia, which is sort of crazy. We don't have a single Colombian client. That should tell you something. So we're here to help. So what do you need?
Ready to start the journey, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Good to meet you.
Please, thanks.